Just a quick little proviso that while we are cheerfully calling all vegans, the opinions and beliefs expressed by them do not always reflect our own.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Calling All Vegans show. I'm your host, Sue Spar, and once again, Vish, our ambassador of anti-speciesism, who lives here at Wishbone Animal Rights Lab, will be sitting in as co-host. Now, our next guest has done all of us the huge favor of covering the walls of Wishbone with 55 pieces of his whimsical and thought-provoking eye candy, created despite dealing with a serious eye condition. He's a social justice activist who advocates for all animals, including the humankind. Also a musician and a YouTube influencer, he gained international attention through his on-the-raunchy-side videos promoting a variety of issues. He has been living in Niagara Falls, Canada for a while now, but returned to host his art show. We don't want him taken off again, so now that we've gained his trust, it should be no problem luring him into the equipment room and locking him inside. Please welcome everyone's friend, John Sakars, to the
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm
thrilled to be here. It's a highlight of my life.
Oh, mine too.
Oh, wonderful.
I first became aware of you through your YouTube videos many years ago. It was actually a non-vegan Facebook friend who pointed you out to me. He was triggered. So, and you have a prolific catalog of work. So you did have the one video that caught the attention of the Young Turks podcast some years ago.
Yeah.
It was a rap called Animals Are Innocent. And as cynical as the hosts, Jank and Anna, can often be, they were actually very tickled by it. The video went viral with over 500,000 views, yet you deleted it and replaced it with a reworded version. Being such a clicks and thumbs up driven society, that would horrify many people. But what made you decide to do that?
Yeah, thanks for asking. Well, it's very, very important to put lots of thought into all lyrics. And so it sounded catchy to me at the time. Animals are innocent. Don't be species. Yeah, thank you. But then I'm a prison abolitionist, and I think the society is the problem, not the people. I think all the people are doing their best. And when I said animals are innocent, people kind of think, like, yes, humans are animals too, but in their mind, they're thinking of, yeah, the animals are innocent, it's the humans that are guilty. And that kind of perpetuates the good-bad binary, and it's okay to lock some people up. But I don't want people thinking like that. Like, I feel like all humans are innocent too, that we're products of our life experiences, and people who have done horrible things. I think if I had their genetics and life experiences, I would have done the same things. And so I think I'm in favor of a system change. And so I reworded it to respect every animal, don't be speciesist. So and it's not as catchy, it doesn't flow as well, I guess. But that's why I felt really bad, because I felt like by saying animals are innocent, I'm kind of perpetuating the idea that the humans are guilty.
That's interesting to know, because I always feel like animals are much more innocent than humans. So yeah. I'm not thinking about it from the prison side of things, but that's interesting that that was the reasoning behind it.
Thank you for asking that.
Unlike a lot of people online, you welcome constructive criticism and suggestions. So why is that? Most people try to avoid it.
Because when I learn I made a mistake, that helps me, to learn better and do better. For instance, one of my new artist friends, well, she's been a friend for a while now, I posted a painting I did, and a friend shared it. And so my friend Tracy in New York, she saw it, and right away, she didn't say anything nice. She gave me constructive criticism, and I love that. And I saw that what she was saying was right. And then we connected on Facebook. And then she did a series of online art lessons. And I took the art lessons from her, and they helped make my paintings better. And so, yeah, I love constructive criticism. And like with my videos, if someone points out that I made a mistake, many times I've taken a video down, and I don't feel attached to it. Like, I don't want to have any problematic videos on YouTube. So if anyone helps me understand I made a mistake, I'll take it down. And sometimes some people think I made a mistake, but then I have to use my judgment. Like one of my songs,
of course,
Go Vegan, Motherfucker. And so Some women
Okay.
have said to me it's misogynistic, but then many other women have said they love it. It's like their favorite song. Like Diane, who passed away, unfortunately. Diane and Dan,
Yeah.
they're both passed away. That was her favorite song. And so, if I took down, I remember when I was a kid, there was the teacher told us a story about a hen who went around the farm and said, "Hey, I'm making some vegetable soup." And like the pig said, "Oh, great, but don't put any celery in it. I don't like celery." And she went, and all the animals said, "Oh, awesome, but don't put any potatoes in it." So then it was dinner time, and there was a pot of water.
Yeah.
So if I took down every video someone didn't like, there'd be nothing.
Exactly. Yeah, we're all wired uniquely. So
Mhm.
some people, yeah, they're going to be offended, triggered, whatever. Other people are going to find it hilarious. So you just kind of have to use your own judgment, I suppose.
Yeah.
Now, you've been vegan since 1998. What's the backstory there?
Thank you for asking such wonderful questions that I'm passionate about. So in 1998, I was at my local library and I saw a book called Old MacDonald's Factory Farm. And that got me curious. So I sat there in the library and right away I'm reading about tail docking, chicks getting debeaked, all the horrifying things we find out about. And then I learned that like humans are not obligate carnivores. We don't need to eat animals or their secretions. We have no right to use animals for anything. So it all made sense to me. And so I went vegan. And so I went vegan when I was 27. And in August, I turned 54.
Doing the math
So
here
1
right
month
now,
from
John.
now, I will have been vegan half my life. Yeah.
That's
And also,
great. Ooh.
thank you. Thank you. Because I went vegan from reading a book, I don't know why. For the first several months of being vegan, I called myself a vegan. So I didn't know how you pronounce it. So I told my family, I'm a vegan. And they all like they said, we thought it's just a phase you're going through, and they were waiting for me to start eating like a normal person
Oh,
again.
yeah, right.
But 27 years later, and I'm still doing
They're
it.
still
As we know,
waiting.
it's a win all around for our health, for the animals, for the planet.
Absolutely.
And plant foods have all the flavor, so I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything.
No.
Yeah.
I like the word vegan better, but anyway,
Yeah.
that doesn't matter, I suppose.
I was wondering why I pronounce it like A. Maybe because in Canada we say A,
That could be, yeah.
so maybe that's why I thought it was vague. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know.
So at this time, a year ago, you were undergoing all sorts of medical testing, procedures, and surgeries. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So one day, a year ago, I started to see like a floater at the corner, and that was odd. Then it was like an explosion, and then it was like there was a million dots everywhere. I felt like there were. I was in the kitchen. It felt like there were fruit flies all over in the kitchen, all these dots, and that scared me. So I went to there's an eye care place right across the street from where I live. So I went there, and he said you have a tear in your retina, and so he made me an appointment. So I went to see a doctor, and he said that they were going to do laser retinopexy. That's where I put my chin down and hold these handles and have to stay perfectly still, and they burn around the tear to try to create scar tissue to prevent a retinal detachment. So I got that done, and then he found it was still spreading. So I got that done 3 times, and then the retina is still detached. And then so I got something called vitrectomy surgery. That's where they take out the vitreous, they put in a gas bubble to hold your retina flat. And so to keep the gas bubble against your retina, you have to stay face down for 10 days. You can take a 10-minute rest once an hour. But so like the nurse said, always remember chin to chest. So like she said, you should be able to hold a piece of paper between your chin and your chest. So if I got up to go to the bathroom, I'd walk like with my chin to my chest. And I would, lie down. I had to sleep in the same position, face down. So it was hard because I had pressure on my forehead from being face down all the time.
Wow.
So I had horrible headaches all the time.
Oh, yeah.
The headaches I think were the worst part. And then it detached again. So then I got another vitrectomy surgery where they put in an oil bubble. And then I did another 10 days of face down, and then it detached again. Then they said they could do a scleral buckle where they take a band and they permanently sew it to my eyeball to change the shape of my eyeball. But he said there's a slim chance it could work, and if it did, could bring back a little bit of eyesight, but he didn't sound optimistic to me at all. And I was a little scared. Maybe it's unlikely, but I'm still a member of a vitrectomy support group. And one person said she got the scleral buckle and it hurt so much she wanted to gouge her eye out.
Oh, my God.
And I don't know, I just got scared. And I
Yeah.
thought, I don't want to do
Rightly
that.
so.
Yeah.
Holy.
So then he said some really good news. He said there's only a 2% chance this retina will ever detach. So life with vision in only one eye isn't that bad. Like my visual field decreased by 30%. So that means when I don't have a car. I ride my bicycle and walk
Oh, you
everywhere.
have to be
So
very
that means I
careful.
just turn my
Yeah.
head 30%
On a
more.
swivel.
And I'm very observant. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get lots of neck
Yeah.
exercise. And so, but I guess one of my approaches to life is the secret to happiness is to have low expectations. So somebody's got to be the unlucky 2% where the other retina detaches. So I thought maybe if I'm one of them, I feel like I want to do a lot of paintings now
Yeah,
because it's one thing
wow.
I'm passionate about. So I started to do a lot of paintings, and you saw them on Facebook.
Yeah, I was blown away.
Thank you. And you said, John, would you like to have an art show sometime? And then because I'm living in Niagara Falls, I thought, well, maybe we should have a Toronto person do it first. But then you just asked me again, and who could say no to you? So I thought, okay, I'll go for it. And I'm
when
sure.
I kept badgering you?
Oh, no.
Not
It's like,
badgering. I shouldn't say badgering.
oh, I'm really glad
Bad
you did.
vegan, bad
So
vegan.
you're a big reason why most of these paintings are in existence, because when you have someone who believes in you, like you, I feel everyone should have someone who believes in them. Like even just one person, it can change your life.
That's
So
true.
you believing in me really inspired me. So I did all these paintings thinking, wow, I'm going to have an art show in Toronto. That's spectacular. And so
It sure looks good.
thank you. I tried to use my paintings to lift, as an activist, we're supposed to lift up less heard voices. And
Yeah.
so I painted a lot of creatures, like house centipedes, for instance. Because of speciesism and lookism, people see all those legs and they feel justified in squishing them. But house centipedes are wonderful friends to humans. Like all the creatures you don't want in your house, they eat them. They're working for you for free. They eat bed bugs. And so I was thinking, I have some prints. I was thinking, hey, if someone does, when I was a kid, my grandfather said, good night, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite. So I thought if someone got a print of a house centipede, they could hang it on their wall and maybe it would scare away the bed bugs.
Yeah. Well, I'm an insect freak. I love insects. So we're definitely kindred spirits there.
Thank you. I have to say something about my mother and my stepfather. They've been so helpful. The painting behind me, so I did the painting and it was fine, but I thought there should be some kind of animal on the path. So I said to my mother, what kind of animal? She said, have a whole bunch of ducks walking to the pond. And I thought that was really good. So I did that. And also the wood, it came from an old kitchen cabinet. So it was wood that would have gone to the landfill, and I turned it into a painting. And then so I did the painting, and my mom, she was looking at it, and then she looked at her husband, my stepfather, Dave. He does puzzles. So he had a puzzle hanging on the wall, and my mom said, John, your painting looks about the same size as that puzzle. Hey, Dave, why don't we see if John's painting fits the puzzle? And then I said to my mom, is Dave upset about us taking down his puzzle from my painting? And she said, maybe a little bit, but it's okay.
Yeah.
So
he hasn't spoken to you since, but you're good.
So I have a very supportive family and friends. So I feel like I know I'm a very, very privileged person. Even though I only have one working eye, I have every other privilege going for me. So I want a world where we have total liberation so everyone can have as much fun as I have. Like everyone should be free. I don't want to just be the one who can do paintings and make music videos. Like there's so many people working at really hard jobs and they come home and they're tired. And a lot of these jobs, like
they just don't have the energy.
Yeah, they don't have the energy. And look at AI. Like we have AI making art and doing all these things, writing scripts. Like, can't we use AI to reduce our work week so people have more free time to follow what makes our hearts sing?
John for Prime Minister.
Oh.
Now, do you have a special? I know I shouldn't ask, but do you have a favorite amongst your paintings?
Thank you.
Just because I don't want the other ones to feel bad. But.
Oh yeah, they're because I got a vasectomy. I don't have any kids. I'm an uncle. But they kind of are like your kids.
That took a turn.
I just meant this is like the closest to kids I'll ever have. So it's like, which is your favorite?
Okay,
which is your favorite child? No, I'm happy for the question.
It depends who asks me, and if the other two aren't around, that's my favorite child. That's how I do it. And
that's good.
All three in the room, I say to them, I go, well, that whichever one of you is here alone with me. That's how it goes.
That's good.
They're well aware.
Probably a two-way tie, I guess, if I were to pick a couple of favorites. This one, because my mom and Dave helped out.
And
my
that's
stepfather.
ducks headed to pond.
Yeah.
And what's the other?
And the other one, I really like Flower Cat, which is in the other room.
Flower Cat, yeah.
Just because, like in my mind, I created like a superhero cat. Because the story of Flower Cat is there was a meteor, and there were some radioactive flower seeds that were attached to the meteor from outer space. And Flower Cat was curious and ate some of them. Now her whiskers grow into flowers, and she likes to sit in a cardboard box. And when the wind catches her flowers, like a sail, she flies around. And whenever there's fighting going on somewhere, she descends from the clouds. And people are so shocked to see a flying cat with whisker flowers, they forget what they're fighting about. So, like, I don't know.
I love it. Every one of your pieces has a special little message or story.
Thank you. So that could be like a movie or something, a Flower Cat movie. Yeah.
Well, if you want to have your film crew here doing filming and everything too, we're
perfect.
More than welcome. Now, I know at least a couple of your original paintings have sold, and there was kind of an informal bidding war happening with a few people over one of your pieces. Two of them are actually here, so I better. Yeah, that's right. And to everyone, John also very graciously and generously offered for his exhibit to double as a fundraiser, and is contributing 100% of the proceeds from his signed prints to Wishbone. Not the original pieces, but the signed prints. So if anyone ever wants to take home their very own John Sakars, they can drop by Wishbone Animal Rights Lab through the entire month of July and maybe even August. And if not possible to attend in person, they can check out John's work on his website, johnsakars.com. That's SAKARS, and drop him a line about any pieces in which you're interested. So we will include all the ways to get hold of you in the notes, but could you specifically share with us your YouTube channel and your Patreon? And I have to mention that Patreon because Chase Abior would never speak to me again if I...
He's such a nice, supportive friend. And
yeah.
I was thrilled. I got to be in the studio audience when Chase was on your show.
Yeah,
he's a wonderful, very supportive friend. Well, on Instagram, John Eric Sakars, and on Facebook, John Sakars. If you Google, Google John Sakars Patreon, and that'll come up.
Yeah, and then YouTube.
And then my YouTube channel.
The Sakars, right?
Yeah, or if you just go on YouTube and type in John Sakars, and that's kind of fun because then you can see a lot of other people. Have like reacted to one of my videos, and there's even like cringe compilations of John Sakars, like kind of like highlight reels. And I laugh at myself, so I'm okay with other people laughing at me too.
You have to be a little self-deprecating. It makes life.
Yeah, I think so.
So John, thank you so much for sitting down with us. I'm sorry though that you can never return home to your family in the falls, but we promise to feed you well. There in the storage room. Provide you with all.
I know you're teasing. Yeah, I would love to live here.
I'm teasing. That's right.
We could dig a hole in the wall, make a secret place where we can crash or something.
There you go. So anyway, wishing you loads more shows and whatever. Anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.